Welcome to the lecture series of computer programming. Today's topic we are going to see about what is data type, variable and constants. So first, before going to see about the variable, first let me see what is a data type and what are all the types available in that. So in any other programming language you can take the data type will be available. So what is a data type means? So data type is a data type is a specific value which is used to stored in a specific format. Let me take a equal to 10. So you know a value is 10, but compiler does not know what format is this. So in this case we are going to give a types of data which specify some data type format. So let me see what are all the data type format available in C language. So data types are classified as two types. First one is primary and secondary. So in primary, data types is always runs in main memory. So main memory or RAM memory, you can say anything like that. So primary memory. So primary memory is again divided into numeric and alphanumeric. So numeric in the sense it will cover integer and decimal. So integer and decimal means what all data types it will cover means int. For decimal it will cover float, double. Then alphanumeric it will cover character. So the data type represent as char. So what are all the data types available here? Int, float, double and char. Next one is secondary data types. So secondary data types are user defined data types and derived data types. So these data types let me see in later session. So first we see what is integer data type, float and double. So we know these are all the data types. We are going to specify some format for the data. So these are all the predefined data types. The compiler knows what data types the user are giving. So when you take an example, int a equal to 16. So we know 16 is the value which represents some integer format. But compiler knows only when you declare a data type as int. So int represents some specific format with some specific range. So it will differ based on your compiler and machine language instructions. Now let me take int. So int represent the size is 2 byte. So 2 byte in the sense 16 bits. So it represent in the range of minus 32,000 to plus 32,000 when you are using signed operators, when you are using signed int. When you are using unsigned int, signed int means it covers both negative values and positive values. Next one is when you are using only a positive value, here the range will from 0 to 65,000. So it covers only a positive values. So it is called a unsigned int. It is called as unsigned int. So let me take how it will stored in memory. So when the user want to store some value in memory, when user want to store some value in memory, we have to use some variables. So here only variable will introduce. So what do you mean by variable? So variable is some data which is used to hold the value. So variable represent the memory location of your main memory. So variable can be any name which is user defined. It represents some memory location in your memory. So let me see. So variable, example int mark. So mark is a variable which holds some value. If you want to hold some value, you have to assign mark equal to 75. So mark is a variable. It represents a memory location to store the value 75. So here mark is a user defined. You can store any, you can use any name for the variable. But in which here int represent the data types of your variable. Here mark is a variable which holds the value is 75. You are saying mark variable holds the value, holds only the integer value. So only you are declaring int mark. The compiler knows this. Int mark represent it. The mark is a variable which holds only the integer variable. So when you are using float mark means, so here you can store decimal values, for example 75.56. so you can store decimal value. The compiler knows the data type is float, so the user can store the decimal values. So let me see how these values are stored in our memory locations. So our memory location means this is our memory. So memory location means it represents main memory or RAM memory or RAM memory. So when you want to store int a equal to 12. So already we know the compiler takes only, computers takes only the data as in the form of bit representation. So bit representation is zeros or ones. So zeros or ones are true or false. So computer knows only data in the form of zeros or ones. In high level language we are giving the data like this. So for example int a equal to 12 means a is a variable which holds the integer value as 12. The compiler get this high level language is converted into the machine language in the form of zeros and ones. So here int represent how many bytes? 2 bytes. 2 byte means how many bits? 8 bits. So how many values are going to stored in 8 bits? So here this is first byte, this is second byte. So in every byte we are having the 8 bits. So this is called a least significant bit and this is called a most significant bit. So now I am going to explain how this value is stored in our memory. So here a equal to 12. So what is the binary value of 12 means? And first take the binary value of 12. So 1 1 0 0. So binary value of 12 is 110. When you represent in 8 bits, the values will be like this. So I am going to store a value 0 0 0 0 1 1 0 0. So it is represent first byte. But integer we are having a 2 byte. So in first byte I represent in 8 bit format. So I stored a value as 12. So in second byte I don't have any values, I represent as sequence of zeros. So in this, so this is the binary representation of 12. So here I am going to store in it in memory means the computer will store these values in its memory. For example, let me take this is the memory address. So memory address is in form of sequence, so it will increase, it will goes like this. So 201 is the address, 202 up to 205. So this is the main memory address. When you are using int a equal to 12 means the compiler knows int value, int data type is, int is a data type which holds the size of 2 bytes. The compiler will allocate 2 byte for this. this 2 byte for this. It will take any free space. The compiler will allocate 2 byte for this. So each byte represent 1 byte. So this 1 byte and this 1 byte occupies 2 byte. This byte will allocated for int a, right? So here a value 12 is going to store here. So what is the representation of this? Here. So 00110 represent in form of binary. So it will represent as 12. So here this bit is stored in memory 202. So 202 and this will stored in 203. You can also store like this. This memory, this bits you can store in 203 and also you can store in 202. So it is based on your machine architecture, it will change. So our machine architecture is stored in form of like this. This value is stored in 202 and this byte is stored in 203 address. So likewise memory store the data like this. So our computer will store our data is represented in the form of bits. So before you are storing your bits, it will see the memory space of your data types and it will allocate based on this. So likewise it will store for float and character. So based on your size of your bit it will change. So thank you for watching this video.